Breaking news now on Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Breaking news here at 6. We just got new body cam video that shows officers shooting a suspect on the highway. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. This happened on I-84 in East Hartford early Saturday morning, and tonight the suspect is still in the hospital. The Office of the Inspector General says this all started just before 2 a.m. in Manchester. Officers pulled over that driver that we now know is 39-year-old Samuel Lee for a violation. Officers say they briefly talked to Lee, but when he sped off and almost hit another police cruiser, police went after the car. At times, officers say Lee went up to 70 miles an hour on town roads.
Now, police put stop sticks down at one of the entrances to I-84, and officers say when Lee drove by, several of his car tires were punctured. He kept going toward East Hartford at that point. Police say Lee then rolled down his window and actually fired a handgun multiple times at officers. At least one cruiser was hit by a bullet. The Inspector General released video that shows two different angles of the moment the bullets hit the police car. Take a look.
Shot fire, shot fire. Shot fire, shot fire.
Now you can see and hear their officers firing back. Police say one bullet hit Lee in the hip. He finally stopped and was taken to the hospital. He is expected to recover. The Inspector General says Lee has 6 outstanding rearrest warrants from different jurisdictions. There is now an arrest warrant for this incident, which includes felony charges. Well, as the government shutdown drags on, the problem's only going to get worse for about 360,000 people here in our state who rely on SNAP benefits. But they won't receive any next month.
Now the state is stepping up with the governor setting aside $3 million in emergency funding for Connecticut Food Share. Fox 61's Solene Arif shares how far that funding will go.
While it's not a permanent solution, Governor Ned Lamont hopes spending $3 million in emergency funding for Connecticut Food Share can help people hang on a little bit longer until the federal government starts back up. While the governor is setting aside that big chunk of change, it'll only go so far. Governor Lamont says it's not a replacement for the gap left by the federal government shutting down. Connecticut Food Share CEO says for every meal they provide, SNAP normally provides 9. On top of that, he says Connecticut Food Share's resources were already spread thin before the government shut down. Connecticut Food Share will use the money to continue supplying more food to about 500 food pantries and more than 100 mobile pantries they have all across the state.
Ordered the food early, lined up the trucks, has 650 different distribution all over the state, including mobile vans, making sure we can get the food to you as you need it, when you need it.
Governor Lamont says their investment should help Connecticut Food Share serve 3 million meals a week for 2 weeks. In Wallingford, Solene Arif, Fox 61.
Well, after a chilling 911 call where police say a 20-year-old told New Canaan police, "I killed my mother," a judge has settled on bond. The man police say made that call was in court today, charged with murder. Fox 61's Victoria Anderson shares the details from Stamford Superior Court.
Sebastian Van Stockham is being held on a $2 million bond, a large number with little debate in the courtroom for the 20-year-old suspect.
The victim was found bludgeoned to death and sustained extreme trauma to her skull.
A family affair in Stamford Court as a man is being charged with the murder of his own mother. Sebastian Van Stockham's defense attorney Philip Russell says it wasn't premeditated.
This was a terrible shock. Nobody anticipated this or foresaw this.
New Canaan police responded to a 911 call from a male caller who police say was Van Stockham, simply stating he had killed his mother. First responders shortly pronounced his mother dead at the scene.
State and Cruz, my understanding of the bond was at $2 million. This wasn't as big as, especially a violent murder.
The state and defense agreed on a $2 million bond without prejudice, with bond posting on pause until additional hearings on more charges.
All I can say is it'd be premature for anyone to rush to judgment.
Van Stockham's father was in the courtroom for the arraignment. Russell noted his presence, as well as the fact that the suspect has no previous convictions.
And at this point, there's an awful lot of loose ends.
And as we mentioned, Van Stockham's father was in the courtroom today. That was something that the defense was very clear about pointing out, but his father declined to speak with us after the arraignment. Reporting in Stamford, Victoria Anderson, Fox 61.
Well, it is officially chilly. At least it was this morning. It is sweater weather is
Sweater weather.
here. Sweater weather. It's hard to say it in my anchor voice. Sweater weather is here.
So the thing is, the trick-or-treaters, of course, all they're worried about is Friday and what the weather looks like then, whether there's rain coming or how cold it's going to be.
Will you be wearing
they have to wear a coat over your costume that you've been sweating over for months. Probably the third one you bought. Here's Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank with a check of the forecast.
Sarah, I think you're going to be good dressed as a Labubu doll.
Oh.
Because it'll be cozy, you know?
Oh, because you're saying it's cold.
It'll be cool. It'll be cool. But the good news is you do not have to dress as an umbrella this year. I do think the rain that we get in our pre-Halloween storm will be out of here in time for trick-or-treating. Yay! Here's a look at the frost advisory in effect for our southern 4 counties, with the exception of the immediate shoreline. Again, patchy frost out there tonight. The only reason it is not in effect for the northern half of the state is because it is too late in the season, and the National Weather Service says you probably don't have plants anymore. But if you do, and you have mums and you want to protect them, you can bring those plants inside, or you can try covering them with a light blanket. Usually mums can handle temperatures like this, though. Right now, we're looking at temperatures near 50. Here's a look at overnight lows and breezy sunshine as we head through the day tomorrow. We'll take a look ahead at that late week pre-Halloween storm coming up.
Thank you, Rachel. Well, one of the 3 people charged in the death of Jacqueline Mimi Torres Garcia has been charged, is facing even more charges, that is.
Yeah, the boyfriend of little Mimi's mother, Jonathan Nanita, is now charged with tampering with physical evidence and removal of a dead body. Police say he did this on September 29th of this year. Officials found those remains more than a week later. Nanita was arraigned earlier this month on charges of murder with special circumstances and risk of injury to a child. He is expected to face a judge again early next week. This comes after Farmington police released phone records from the mother, Carla Garcia, and aunt, Jacqueline Garcia. The court documents told us how Nanita reportedly handled Mimi's body and that Carla knew Nanita put Mimi's body in a tote and put it at the abandoned home in New Britain. Nanita is being held on a $5 million bond.
Glastonbury officials are asking people to stay away from Sycamore Street and Hebron Avenue right now after a water main break. We don't know much at this time. We're just told that it broke sometime this afternoon. Officials didn't say how long repairs are expected to take either. We'll keep an eye on the situation and bring you updates.
Well, Bridgeport police say a driver hit a boy on his bike and possibly broke his arm earlier today. We're told it happened on Broad Street and Linden Avenue at 2:30 this afternoon. Officers tell us the driver stayed on scene and is cooperating. No arrests have been made. Investigators are looking into what happened.
West Haven police say the scooter rider who was hit by a car last week has died. He was 24 years old. Officials tell us a driver hit the rider on Derby Avenue and Forest Road last Tuesday. The man was thrown from the scooter and landed on the road. His name hasn't been released. Investigators say the driver stayed on scene after the crash, although they haven't been arrested. The crash is under investigation.
And Hartford police are looking for the driver who they say hit a crossing guard and took off this morning. It happened at Blue Hills Avenue and East Euclid Street. We're told the crossing guard was on her way to her school post when she was hit. Officials tell us she is expected to be okay. Investigators haven't released any details about the driver or the car they are looking for at this point. Right now, officials need your help finding a missing man from Preston. His name is Henry Hood, and his family tells us he's been missing since Friday. There is a purple alert out for the 72-year-old. His family says he has dementia, and they're worried he is lost and out in the cold at night. He was last seen wearing blue pajamas. If you see him, contact police. The Department of Energy and Environmental Protection is asking the public to stay away from Natchog State Forest for now. Officials and canines are searching for a missing person there. The search was launched earlier this afternoon. We haven't been told who they're looking for, but we will provide updates as the search unfolds.
New Haven police say a person shot a Hamden man last night. No one's been arrested as of now. Officers tell us a 32-year-old was shot on Maltby Place before 8:45 last night. Responders took him to the hospital. We're told he's going to be okay. Detectives say the man and the suspect know each other and called this a targeted shooting. You're asked to contact New Haven police if you witnessed anything.
A Waterbury man is accused of crashing a car into 5 parked cars and then into a building last night. Police say he was drunk. We're told it happened on Thomaston Avenue around 7:15. Officers tell us Kitwizaka Matelo and his passenger were not hurt. The building and cars were damaged. Officials say the man failed a sobriety test, and they charged him then with DUI, driving with a suspended license, and not driving in a proper lane. It's unclear when he is due in court. Well, early voting in Connecticut municipal elections ends in 6 days, and the general election is set for Tuesday, November 4th.
Fox 61's Joe Monty has an update on how early voting totals look so far and how you can vote early if you haven't yet.
Early voting is certainly off to a rapid start in Connecticut. We received updated numbers this morning from the Connecticut Secretary of State's office. They told us how many people have early voted so far. These are the latest numbers we have. They also include absentee ballot votes. Let's take a look at some of these totals for you right now. As of this morning, a total of 68,600 early votes have been cast. Almost 35,000 of them from the Democrats and almost 15,000 of them from the Republicans. So far, more unaffiliated early votes have been cast than early Republican votes. Unaffiliated voters have cast over 18,000 votes so far. We also have the number of absentee ballots returned. Absentee voting allows people to vote without going to an actual polling location. It's usually by mail, and almost 13,000 of those ballots have been cast. Stratford, Milford, and Hamden are still the top 3 towns that have cast the most early votes so far. You still have the rest of this week from today until Sunday to vote early if you haven't already. Now, the hours of early voting locations range from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. with the exception of Tuesday and Thursday. They're going to be open a little longer on those days, so keep an eye out for that. And if you need help finding your early voting location, you can check our website, fox61.com. For now in Hartford, Joe Monty, Fox 61.